Big Whit, Andrew Whitworth, the man, the myth, the legend. He is promoting Walk United LA with the United Way of Greater Los Angeles. They're going to walk together with thousands of Angelinos in a pathway to defeat homelessness. That'll be at SoFi Stadium this weekend. There's going to be a bunch of Rams players there. I mean, this guy, Cappy,
it's
this
next week.
win,
It's May 11th, just so you know, George.
Oh, I'm sorry, May 11th. Sorry.
Right.
So
He's
got to
watch the Derby. He's got to watch the Derby this weekend.
Right, next weekend. So it's May 11th. This guy, though, I mean, you want to talk about a man of the people, right? The stuff with the United Way, doing the walk. He's out there with you and me at a 7-Eleven a couple months ago, doing the cash register for the people. I mean, this man, Big Whit, what are you, what else do you do to be a man of the people?
Man, look here, brother. I love this place. I love being a part of the community, and whatever I can do, man, to be a part of it in a good way is what I'm about. So appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, Big Whit, it's always great talking to you. But, I feel like I miss you because it was November of last year.
Or you do miss me?
I do miss you desperately, but here's the thing.
Okay.
Here's the thing. It was November of last year. I'm riding my Peloton, and I see a guy, and I go, that looks like Big Whit. So I snapped a picture, right? I snapped a picture, and I texted you, and I said, Big Whit, are you in my Peloton class right now? And you got to just tell us the story, because I think you were there for like an Amazon Thursday night-ish kind of a football game. How did you get into the Peloton class? Tell me about that.
Yeah, so we were doing Black Friday in New York. We had our first ever Black Friday game on Thursday, our Thursday night football crew, and so we were there in town, and I was sitting there. I was like, you know what? My family had stayed back home in Louisiana, where her parents are from and mine are, and so they were with the kids and everything there. And I was by myself in New York City, and I was like, it's Thanksgiving Day. I don't want to just walk around. I want to go do something active. You know what? I love Peloton. Why don't I see if I could get in a live class? That would be fun. And they were having a special day there where they were live streaming the whole deal. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. So they offered me a seat. I got in. I did my ride. I didn't let anybody down. I represented, baby. And it was a grind though, because I tell you what, when that camera's on you and it's live and you're on that bike, it's a little different than sitting at home when you can quit whenever you want to, or maybe take a little off. That was kind of like, hey, what face am I making, and how bad do I look right now?
So, Cappy, you were watching him while you were doing the class. How did he do?
He did great, because the thing is that Big Whit, you're so right. Like when you're at home and you're on your Peloton, you could check out for a little bit. You could check your phone. You could see who's texting you, whatever. When you're on the camera and you were in the hot seat, because the bike that you were on, you were pretty much on camera the entire time. And it was a turkey burn ride because, like you said, it was Thanksgiving. I'm trying to remember, who was the instructor that day? Do you recall?
Oh, gosh, she's been there forever.
Now, what was it? See, my guy's Alex Toussaint. You like Alex Toussaint?
Oh, yeah. No, I love Alex. Alex is my guy. He's the man. That's who I use the most. And you know what? It's between him and Kendall. But
I love Kendall, too.
It was awesome, man. It was a really cool experience. I mean, it was something, obviously never done before. In New York, Thanksgiving Day, let's hop on a Peloton and a live stream. It was awesome.
It was cool. Hey, George, Kendall Toole is a girl who was a former USC cheerleader.
Yeah, you told me about her.
And now she's like one of the stars of Peloton. And then, of course, Big Whit, I also love my girl Jen Sherman, because, just kind of in the same age range, like the same musical styles. And she also does a really good yacht rock class. I don't know if you ever take that one, Big Whit.
Oh, I had never done yacht rock. Okay.
Yeah, so
just
giving you ideas.
I feel like you could skip past the yacht rock personally, but Big Whit, you are doing this thing with the United Way, and on May 11th, right, as we mentioned, and you're going to be there, kind of the co-host of the event. You got a bunch of Rams players like Steve Avila, you got Ernest Jones, Kobe Turner, Kyron Williams will serve as honorary chairs there at the event at SoFi Stadium. Let's talk about some of those guys I mentioned, man. Let's talk about the guy along the offensive line, similar to the position you played. Now, he plays inside, you played outside. But this kid, Avila, he jumped right in and was ready to roll. That offensive line struggled when you were gone. Then last year, those guys as a group did as good a job as anyone could have expected last year. What was your level of, I don't know if surprise is the right word, but I guess how proud were you of that group in particular to kind of reestablish the stuff that you guys had done previously?
Yeah, I thought it was a really special year for them. What a great job, Ryan Wendell did with that group. Winnie's a special football coach. His first year there, really being the head guy. What a freaking impact he had. And then to see a young guy like Steve Avila hop in there and play the way he did, It's definitely something to me. It's what they can build off of the future. I think you saw that in their influence in free agency and, really putting money into that group. It's the best way to keep Stafford healthy. It's the best way to move forward one day when years down the road, if Stafford decides to step away from the game and retire, you got a great offensive line. That's a great situation for a young quarterback. So you see that investment for the future there. And, man, I just think that you look at really the job that Steve and those guys did. I thought it was something you could see probably from – I've always said this. When you have years like they had the year before where everyone's injured, you're getting a ton of guys on the field, you feel like you're fighting against everything. If you do it the right way and handle it the right way, really you see these bounce backs in groups because they went through adversity like that. A ton of guys got on the field. So that room now all of a sudden has a lot more experience than it had prior. And so I think that then you got a guy like Steve Avila that comes in and plays the way he did. Kevin Dotson comes out of nowhere and plays great. And now you've added Jonah Jackson to the mix. I mean, you look at this group, man, they ought to be special this year. I know the job that Sean and Coach Wendell will do with them. I really look for this group to probably be one of the strongest parts of this team going into this season, and they're going to have to lean on them for a lot of their success.
Yeah, and Big Whit on the other side, though, Aaron Donald retires. So two things. A, were you surprised that he actually really did? And then B, I want to get your opinion on especially what the Rams did in the early parts of the draft, going defense and putting bodies on that defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at it. I mean, Aaron Donald, what an unbelievable football player and just, a special human being for that franchise. That guy, man, I'll never forget the impact he had on me, just, and the way he went about his business. What an elite player and an elite practicer and everything he did. But when you lose that kind of impact on a team, here's the difference with AD. It's not just about who he was as a special football player. His legacy, he lives on, because every time those guys turn on tape and they watch the way this guy competes, there's nobody that competes like him. So they know, hey, I'm not competing at the level of this guy yet. So his legacy really can live on, because it's going to be one of those guys that are going to say, man, do you play as hard as Aaron Donald does? It ain't just about his talent or success. It's the way he played the game. And then you look at that investment this year. There is no replacing Aaron Donald. They're not expecting these young guys in the draft to come in and play the way Aaron Donald played. They're expecting to build something with young, youth, talent, ability, and say, hey, in the future, we're going to be the kind of defense that's going to represent the right way the Rams want to play defense. And maybe that looks different than we did when we had Aaron Donald, but we still have an expectation, a standard of the way we want to do things and the way we want to play football. And I think that's what they expect in this investment they have. And you really look at it, what I love as a lineman, seeing them invest in free agency on that offensive line, and then through the draft, really putting some emphasis and some chips in on the front line of that defense. And to me, if you win those two spots, you got a chance to have a really good football team for a really long time.
It's funny you say that, because we spent a lot of time actually talking about that during the last football season, because in both college and pro, you can kind of see that, right? Like the teams in college who have the more experienced offensive lines tend to have successful seasons. Doesn't mean they're going to win the championship, but they generally have very successful seasons. And the lines of scrimmage, man, are still the most important. They don't get all the glory. No disrespect to the Matt Staffords of the world and the wide receivers. All those guys are important, don't get me wrong. But it does begin and end with you guys in the trenches.
Well, it's just that the game of football will eventually come down to your ability to protect the quarterback and your ability to stop the run and get to the passer on defense. Because I don't care how good your secondary is, if you don't get to the quarterback, you are not going to have a chance in this league to have success on defense, because it's going to be extremely hard with all the rules and all the things that go against you to get off the grass and stop giving up points. I mean, you look at the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes and how special they've been. The reality is, though, they continue to invest money in their offensive line. You look at the line, they never fall short, spending money and continuing to find ways to improve the group he has sitting in front of him. And they also continue writing a check to a guy named Chris Jones, who's a really special pass rusher, at getting to the quarterback. And both years we've seen now, back-to-back years, where that impact has been the sole factor that's ended up being really the thing. You look at, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is a really special football player, but the way that group plays up front and runs the football when they need to run the football, and the way the defense was able to play to keep them in games when they weren't playing great on offense, is how they were so successful. and then finally they turn it on in the playoffs offensively, and they make the run. You got to get yourself there. You got to be able to play great up front on both sides of the football.
Hey, Big Whit, when we were all together last football season out at the 7-Eleven, you knew that I was consumed with the hoodie underneath, but with the sport coat over the top, okay? And that has become your look. But I feel like, and I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like I just was all over you that day about how much I loved it. That like the next week you went back onto Amazon and you had like a different look. And then I was like, oh my God, Whit, what happened? What happened to the hoodie with the sport jacket? And then finally, like the next week you came back to it. Did I talk you out of it? Were you self-conscious? What happened?
Here's what happens. Every now and then, you just need to remind the people what they want, And so I took the hoodie off. People reacted. They wanted the hoodie back. It's become such a thing now. I was laughing. I went to the owners' meetings this offseason, ran into a couple of the owners' wives, a couple of coaches' wives. First thing they asked me, like I had a T-shirt on, they're like, where is your hoodie? And I'm like, you know what? I don't know if there's anybody in this league that doesn't know me as the guy who wears a hoodie. So it's becoming like, I don't know. I don't even know if I can go in public without a hoodie on, I guess.
No. Here's the deal.
They're expecting the hoodie. They want the hoodie at all times.
Right, but here's the deal. This is where you start to make money now, okay? We need, and I say we, you and me. And George, you're part of it. No, you're part of this
how
too.
Did you get involved in this?
Oh, no, I'm not cutting you out of this. No, we're a team. Sedano, Cap, and Big Whit, okay? Now, Whit, this is where we make money. Now we need the Big Whit collection of hoodies, and especially hoodies for big guys. Hoodies for big guys. You know what I'm saying?
Fashionable, man. We're going to keep them fashionable. Maybe we'll start by auctioning them off for Walk United LA. You know what I mean?
Call.
Like that's why wouldn't we?
It's a great idea. Get us back to that. Get us back to Walk United LA, because it seems like you're going to have a lot of great players out there. You're going to be out there yourself. You're sort of like the captain of this team. And then all these rookies that George and I were talking about over the last few weeks, especially when we were doing those broadcasts from Hermosa Beach, all the rookies are going to be out there. So get us back to Walk United LA on Saturday, May 11th.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I mean, to have the opportunity to MC this event and be a part of hosting it, I mean, you know what, Walk United LA at SoFi Stadium next Saturday, May 11th. This is our opportunity as Angelenos really to have an impact, in this community, trying to end poverty, homelessness, people who, really are out there needing our help, needing our commitment from the community to be a part of this event. I mean, it's extremely special. I've gotten a chance to be a part of it over the last few years. My kids have walked in it. We've walked in it. Melissa and I and all our kids will be there. We're looking forward to it. I mean, this is an event that's raised over $10 million to end homelessness. I mean, it's become the single largest annual event to end homelessness across the country. And in this city, and all of us Angelenos know this is one of our biggest issues facing to tackle for our city in this community. And so we've really got to be on top of it. We got to continue to commit to it. And we're just honored to get to be a part of it. And there's obviously going to be the Rams players are going to be there. There's going to be the rookies, their first opportunity, the Rams rookie class to be a part of an event in L.A. Are going to get a chance since the draft. They'll be there, and I'm looking forward to it, man. It's going to be a great opportunity for us to all come together, do something that's, not about us individually. It's about us together collectively and then our impact. So we're looking forward to it. It's going to be a fun day. There's going to be all kinds of fun things going on around it. It ought to be special.
Walk United LA, Saturday, May 11th at SoFi Stadium. You heard all the names. Big Whit's going to be there co-hosting. Steve Avila, Ernest Jones, Kobe Turner, Kyron Williams, and many other guys will be out there with the Rams group helping out for homelessness here in the greater Los Angeles area with the United Way of Greater LA. Whit, you're the man. Thanks for joining us, brother. Appreciate it.
Hey, anytime. We'll get to work on this hoodie line, man. We'll be back. Let's go,
yes,
baby.
Sir.
You got it.